meeting. What is that?
We've been waiting for you guys.
Who's we?
We. Oh my God, they're coming for us.
Who are you?
We are McCaskill. We come from the planet doing good better.
What are you aliens doing on Earth?
We are here to stop you from making the wrong decisions about how you do good.
We do good all the time. We're altruist scientists on a hunt to cure the #1 cause of death in the world, coronary artery disease.
But that isn't effective altruism.
If you want to do good, you should focus on doing the most good possible effectively.
Oh my God, what happened? We have a presentation to present on coronary artery disease.
We have something to present.
Effective altruism.
Minions, explain.
Effective altruism is exactly what it sounds like. It's doing good more effectively. By using evidence and reason to address where time and money should be spent, we can have a greater impact on the world and those who need help. This is crazy talk. Come on, let's leave. No, sit down. These aliens might be onto something. Let them talk. So tell me more about this thing that you call effective altruism. You mentioned using evidence and reason, so surely you know a thing or two about sciences. Us scientists need more models to run tests. Then you'll be thrilled to know that here on Planet Doing Good Better, we use the McCaskill framework to plan our good deeds. What the hell is the McCaskill framework?
So glad you asked. To make things simpler, we've come up with 5 key questions to ask yourself when thinking of doing something good. These will help you out understand how effective altruism works.
We've carefully ruled out the top causes you guys must focus on for your planet based on scale, neglectedness, and tractability. We've determined climate change to be what you must focus on if you want to be true effective altruists and help the entire world become better.
My minions will explain to you how the McCaskill framework could be applied to this issue.
How many people benefit, and by how much? Climate change is the largest scale issue if we count your animals in the mix, affecting basically every living being that resides on your beloved planet Earth. Yeah, well, heart attacks represent 32% of all deaths across the globe, with coronary artery disease being one of the main contributors to heart attacks. If you're telling me that this isn't an issue that needs to be addressed immediately, then I don't know what to tell you. Fair enough, but imagine this. Suppose you have a carbon monoxide detector in your laboratory that is a bit sensitive. It gives a false alarm every 4 out of 5 times it goes off, but is otherwise accurate. You're conducting one of your little experiments one evening, and the alarm goes off. What do?
I mean, come on, it's probably a false alarm. Why would I bother doing anything?
Wrong! You must open the window.
But we don't even have windows in the lab.
Then you get the hell out of there. I thought you guys were scientists. Imagine if there really was carbon monoxide in there and you did nothing. You would be dead. I didn't mean to get off topic, but my carbon dioxide example is no different when it comes to climate change. If climate change is happening and we don't take action, millions of lives will be lost and all the world economy will lose trillions of dollars. If climate change isn't happening and we do take action, the costs are much lower. We would have wasted some amount of resources by developing low-carbon technology and slowed economic progress a bit, but it wouldn't literally be the end of the world.
Well, how about this? Imagine a father of 4 children coming home from a long day of work. He's mildly overweight, but other than that, he's in perfect health. Then, out of nowhere, he starts having excruciating chest pain in front of his family. The wife is crying, the children are freaking out, and it's complete chaos. Imagine how traumatic it must be to see your dad fall to the ground and die like that.
I don't know what a dad is, but that does sound pretty horrific. But if we look at the facts, this wouldn't end the world. You see, everyone will benefit by a lot from fixing climate change. For one, animal extinction will be less probable, and boy do we need animals. Without important animals like bats, bees, and many more, our environment is dead meat. Where will our natural pesticides be? Who's going to pollinate the flowers? And this goes vice versa. With no environment, there are no animals. And with no environment, there are no humans. Finding a cure for coronary artery disease would save around 17.9 million people every year, which is about the population of New York.
2 hours later.
You know what? Fine, maybe climate change will benefit more people, but that's it.
That's where you're wrong. Maybe 2, introduce the next question.
Is this the most effective thing you can do?
Treating coronary artery disease would help 17.9 million people. Is that not enough lives for it to be considered important? Educating people on how to avoid developing the disease by eating healthier foods and staying active would be incredibly effective, and the research we do helps find treatments to help people who already have it to live longer.
Our research is crucial.
$2 billion are invested into cardiovascular research every year, and there's no cure. What is all that money being used for? If a cure were to be found, it could save 17.9 million people every year. But treatment doesn't cure the deadly disease. Not to mention the disease can be genetic. That's not something you can prevent. Investing in more research would not help decrease the mortality of coronary artery disease. If there was education to avoid getting the disease to begin with, then there would be a start. But the solution is not clear-cut. Considering over 75% of greenhouse gas emissions are from coal, oil, and gas, even putting a limit to big corporation emissions would do a huge amount of good. By stopping corporations from destroying the Amazon rainforest, you could save thousands of animal species from ending up in a dry savanna, uninhabitable to the animals currently fighting to live in the deteriorating conditions of the rainforest right now. People today are 15 times more likely to die from natural disasters and extreme weather than in the past. The UN says that fixing climate change could help over 3.3 billion people that are directly affected every day.
Is this area neglected?
$2 billion are invested every year. It's clearly not being neglected.
What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't make it any less important. It's the leading cause of death in the world. Of course it isn't neglected.
You're proving the point. There's so much funding and still no cure. How can that be considered effective? The issue may be big, but the funding and resources are much bigger than they need to be with no progress in the research. On the other hand, climate change demands more attention due to its multifaceted nature and magnitude. Despite frequent discussions in the media, the issue remains underrepresented relative to the size of the problem. The potential costs of climate change, including rising sea levels, severe natural disaster, and negative impacts on human health and agriculture, are enormous. By taking action now to reduce these impacts, we could potentially avoid or mitigate many of these costs. These costs of taking action to reduce emissions, such as investing in renewable energy or implementing policies to encourage energy efficiency, are relatively small compared to the potential benefits. This potential benefit is known as expected value. Furthermore, many of these costs can be offset by other benefits, such as improved health or economic growth in the renewable energy sector.
What would have happened otherwise?
The amount of people that die every year could rise if we stop our research.
There's been an increase in deaths from coronary artery disease in recent years, even with the $2 billion budget, so your facts are wrong.
So are we just supposed to give up on helping millions of people?
No, you're supposed to delegate and triage what situations are more urgent than others. While you guys focus on climate change, doctors will continue to do their jobs in the hospitals and provide the treatment that already exists. In the case of climate change, no one can be certain of what would have happened otherwise, but based on the issue's current visible effects, it can be expected that consequences such as severe natural disasters, rising sea levels, and resources depletion would be observed. The worst possible scenario would be the end of the world, which is where us aliens believe you humans are heading if you don't make any changes.
What are the chances of success, and how good would success be?
I guess you guys have proven that there is no chance that we succeed in our research. But think about how great it would be if we did one day succeed. You're right, doctors can still provide treatment that already exists, and maybe those same doctors can find a cure through the trials that already exist.
Okay, so now listen to us about how to fix climate change. Let's take a look at the chances of success of climate change. The chances are defined under a group aspect. Indeed, we have more chance to save the planet if everyone changes their way of life. For example, if 10,000 people decide to stop eating meat, there will be less demand for it and less farming. Livestock farming is very polluting production, and it is a huge contributor to animal cruelty. By reducing our consumption indirectly, we increase the chances that the planet has a better future with regard to climate change and pollution.
All right, you guys won.
Of course we won, but it's not a competition. We just wanted to help humans have a better future and save lives, while you guys try to save your world. We McCaskills need to save other planets as our duty to make the galaxies a better place.
Good luck. on, let's leave.
No, sit down. Wait.
Issue if we count your animals in the mix, affecting basically every living.
To make the galaxies a better place.
Good luck.